status, because response statuses and HTTP APIs are actually really useful. Don't hide them, embrace them, and use them as the mechanism for determining what actually happened from the API. They're a good driving mechanism. And then finally, I want to say that the JSON is a representation of the card that I just asked for. All right, so that's the basic feature. Let's go a little bit deeper down this rabbit hole, and let's see what happens when we put that together with the actual JSON body. So here's a sample. I could pull out the email stuff. That was just there to sort of give you an idea, a more realistic idea. But essentially, it's the same thing. And in this time, I'm sending in the body, the JSON body, and I actually have the JSON there in front of me. Now, this is useful in a lot of ways. How many of you have ever used a web API where the documentation was so-so? You didn't quite know what you were supposed to send in. You didn't quite know what you were supposed to get back. So the idea here is to use Cucumber as a mechanism to describe what is being sent into the system. This can lead us to actually having useful documentation at a later time. In fact, I've actually seen one of the things that sort of got me interested in writing API tests with Cucumber was, I think it was Chargeify originally, when they first put out their API, they wrote the documentation for the API as sort of Cucumber features. It was really nicely formatted and everything, but they wrote as a feature, and I said, wow, I want to be able to do that and actually execute it. So that's what led to all of this. So we see the same thing. Now let's break this down into its constituent pieces. So the first thing, this is a step, and this step right here says I need to do something. All right, this thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say I send and accept JSON data. All right. As this stands right now, this doesn't actually do anything. We need to provide an implementation. And inside of Cucumber, the way you do that is with a step definition. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this. Basically, we're going to set the headers right there inside of Cucumber. It's pretty obvious what's going on here, at least from if you look